Hey, good evening, YouTube. It's your man George Page, all the rage, coming to you live on YouTube. And tonight is another Muscle Talk Monday. So it's this is where my live stream where I talk about the female bodybuilding, different aspects of the sport. Yeah, you can hear the thunder in the background. Yeah, it's thundering, and if anybody who wants to come on, want to or ask questions, who you want to know something. Like I said, you look at the description. I have two subjects I'm going to talk about. One is going to be about my favorite all-time black female bodybuilders. There's some great ladies that competed for a long time that have been pretty successful in the sport. Some have come and gone. There's at least I believe one lady who's still competing right now. Many of them long since retired. Some mostly because the sport has been changing, and they want to change themselves and you know get out of it and maybe find something else outside of the sport. But it's always as a fan, it's always as good to see ladies and support them, see how they do, how well they do, and you know as a fan of your bodybuilding, you know, it's just a thing. I mean, like I said, me ladies, I've followed since I can remember. You know, when I started getting into bodybuilding, female bodybuilding, really, I was into the sport, regular bodybuilding, when I was like, about 13, about 12, 13. My brother played football. He used to get the muscle mags, and I was into more of the guys because growing up, the popular show coming up for us was shows like He Man and Thundercats. We had the muscle characters, and and there was there was the best shows. And then by that time I'm getting puberty and I'm seeing these women, and back then female bodybuilders wasn't as big compared to what they were fit, they were very, very muscular, but not compared to the ones today. But anyway, I am going to start my list and I'm gonna name some ladies I have on here. Many of them I've already done some videos of, some I might want to do some, and others it's hard to get some information because it's just so much, it's just, unless you're a real hardcore historian of field body, like this guy named Steve Winterstrom. He used to be a field body historian. He had a magazine called WBW, which is called Women's Physique World, and he's probably the best guy if you want to go to and get information. But anyway, so let's get started. All right, the first lady I got here before you is one Miss uh, Laura Craval. I've talked about Miss Craval many times. I've been a fan of hers since she came in the sport around about tail end the '80s. You know, um, she's been around for a long time. I've been following her. You know, she had before she competed in Miss Olympia quite a few times. She's been usually a bridesmaid of a bride. A few times she gets to the top five. She's been a second. She's been a runner up. Sometimes she gets third place. Sometimes she, it just varies. But she has a pretty good record. She's a three-time Miss International, winning Miss International back in '90, and then repeated in '94 and '95. She one of her last big wins was back in '99 when she won at the Women's Extravaganza. And after that, she was gone for a while. Then she came back out of retirement in 2002, and she competed as a lightweight. And that time I saw her, she just didn't look like herself. She just got so small. I mean, she was at least at borderline middleweight. She competed for a good time as a middleweight. And when you compete as a middleweight, once you get your pro status and go up, you got to pretty much go up in size also. So you jump from, if you compete as a middleweight, you go up to like a heavyweight. And if you come in as a heavyweight, you just got to really work on the definition and your conditioning. And you come in as a lightweight, yeah, you gotta get bigger too. But right now she's happily married. You know, she's retired and married. Her husband, he's a preacher. She still does little stuff in health and fitness. She often pops on, and I think she has a IG page, I believe, and she does have a Facebook page, but she don't really be on it. But everybody's on IG or Twitter, and she does, like, I saw a video of her where she cooking out like with some chicken steaks. Her first husband, Chris her first husband Chris. They were very much into health and fitness. They had catalogs and magazines and videos, and they even had their own place where they cooked before they got divorced. I've even talked about that. If you checked in my channel, you see that I've done a video about Laura Craval. Now, next up is Vicky Gates. She's from Texas. They grown big in Texas. I'm a big fan of Vicky's. I mean, this is like she came in about into the tail in the 80s, early 90s. She is a legend, a great physique, great body. You know, uh, she has a three-peat when it comes to Miss Olympia. She won Miss Olympia in 90, 99, 2000, and 2001, back to back, all a three-peat. And she, a couple of times, I feel like she should have been Miss Olympia. She has been a runner-up. I think the last Miss Olympia she did, where she placed seventh as a heavyweight, and I was like, what? I mean, and back in 2000, when they had the co-Miss Olympia, she was second runner-up in the women's heavyweight division. But I personally feel like she should have won it. They went to this other lady, Valentina, what's her face? Because the fact is, she was blonde, pretty. She wasn't too muscular, but she still had, she fit the idea of what the IFBB wanted at that time. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Vicky's. I mean, I've done a video about Vicky. You gotta check it out. She's a great physique, great body, and now she's mainly back in Texas. She helps, training. She does shows. That's with her daughter. You remember, she was also in a relationship with former Miss Olympia, um, Ronnie Coleman. They dated for a good while. They both were single parents. Ronnie had a daughter. She had a daughter. They got along pretty good. But eventually, the relationship kind of went its own way. So, yo, XA, welcome, brother. Thank you. That's my brother XA Gucci in the stream. I really appreciate you coming. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, now next up on my lists is she said Nancy Lewis. Now Nancy had a great body, great physique, and one thing I respect about Nancy is she never been to silicone. The thing with female bodybuilders is that because you working out, it takes a lot of muscle. It takes a lot of work to make muscle, and fat is one of the things that help make muscle. So you lose a lot of breast tissue, and she never been to silicone. I respect her for that. Never been into the idea of taking and getting fake breasts so it look more feminine. She was really pretty. I mean, I liked her. Her best showing was back in 2002 when she won the Jantana Classic. And this is Vicky today. I believe she's in her 50s, and she's still in great shape. You know, right now there's some situations going on with Vicky, and I want to help her. And it's something. She's very private, but I'm waiting until she let me know how she gets things set up, and I will I'm going to do some kind of a video and talk about it. I'm putting the information as soon as she gets everything set out, because she's been through some situation where it was a property issue, and she got screwed over by some surveyor, and now she's has to possibly sell her property, and she's trying to do a GoFundMe or a crowdfunding or stuff like that. But once she gives me information like she needs to, I'll put it on here. I might even talk about it, and maybe if I can reach out to her, maybe do a interview where she talks about it, and that will help her out. Because these ladies don't make as much money as you think. It's hard. They have to do things to make money, you know, especially in trying to hold jobs, and sometimes and still, if you're still competing, that's the hard part about it. Next up is one of my all-time faves. I love this lady. Yeah, is Rosemary Jennings, or sometimes I go like this. Her full name, Rosemary Cheeseman Jennings. I used to know that's how she started. It's Rosemary Cheeseman. Then she's Rosemary Cheeseman Jennings. She's originally from Jamaica, and she's a pint-sized dynamite. I love her. I have a page on Facebook called "For the Love of Rosemary Jennings," and it's just I've been a fan of hers since for a good while. It's mute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. My mic's mute. Can you hear me now? Uh, Wait a minute. The mic was working when I started. Give me a sec. I should be. The mic should be not. It should be on mute. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Maybe let me check something. I might have put it. Let me check something real quick. Sorry for the uh, issue with the broadcasting, folks. All right. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? How the mic kept me? I was hearing. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on? Can you hear me? Hear me now? Maybe let's check something. I might have put it. Let me check something real quick. Sorry for the issue with the broadcasting, folks. All right. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? How the mic kept me? I was hearing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? Can you hear me? Hear me now? Maybe let's check something. I might have put it. Let me check something real quick. Sorry for the issue with the broadcasting, folks. Hear me now, XA? Just tell me. Just give me a nod or something, XA. You can hear me. I don't know. Is there any problems? But I'm waiting to hear if sure it's not on your MXA. You hear me? Can you hear me, XA? Can you hear me? I might have. I don't know what's going on. I can hear me. Let me see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, XA? Can you hear me? Okay, good. You can hear me. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. Alrighty. So, all right, let's get back to business. All right, yeah, because I still, I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of funny, but okay, now you can hear me. That's good. Yeah, might be something going in and out. I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to Streamline. Okay, now they were saying before, Rosemary Jennings. She, I'm a big fan of hers. I have a Facebook page dedicated to her. I mean, she's an amazing body, great physique. She's kind of small. I think she's like about 5'2", 5'3". It seems like the shorter female bodybuilders just can pack on some muscle, you know. And I think around about 2005, 2007, she left the game. She retired. Um, she married her trainer, Alex Ramirez. And Alex was married to a female by the name of Franny Barrows. But last I heard, they got divorced. This is probably one of the most current pictures I can find of her. She do have an IG page, but the problem with that, she is like it's like one of those private pages. I mean, you only can get on if you know you get invited. And you have sound on your phone. Well, if you don't have sound on your phone, use your laptop. Yeah, 'cause I don't know. I use that sound. I know when I talked last time. uh, some other thing. I don't know. Thing is kind of like I'm talking, but if I gotta remember this, if I'm talking on Streamlabs, it's the time division is different from if I'm on YouTube. Even though I'm on live, it's just like I think it's like a step behind. So while I'm talking, it's just it's something. But like I said, say just do this. If you don't, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, all right, good. All right. But like I say, if you miss a lot, just go back, get to some parts and just listen again if you want to. You know. But anyway, like I said, this is the most recent picture I can find of her. This is like maybe about a few years ago. She still looks kind of buff, but it's hard to find anything like women. Once they leave the sport, it's hard to catch up onto them. They don't. A lot of them don't even come to the shows that often. Most of them try to live a private life to really separate themselves from the sport. And I loved her. She was, great physique, great body. I mean, I wish she did, one, did pretty, she places good at some shows, and I wish she did. I mean, but how it is. It's politics. Like I was talking to my friend, Lisha, um, Fleury Massa. It's a lot of politics. No, no, I was not that with Alicia, but also another bodybuilder by name was Tisha Thomas, and there's a lot of politics going around. That's why some of the ladies eventually drop out. Everybody's pushing certain ones to be the next big thing. And anyway, let's move on. And our next lady's coming up here is from this lady I love. Ooh, I'm a big fan of hers. This is Heather Foster. Miss Foster, she came up around about the tail end of the '90s, early 2000s, and she has an amazing body, and another just like Nick Nancy and Rosemary, and she didn't bend to the gods of silicone. That's why I love physique. And I love that dark chocolate skin. I just that's what I love here about girls. It's just that beautiful complexion. How the muscle looks. You can see, the vascularity. You can see how the abs are popping. Once you get them on the stage and they're all shiny and just get their, they don't need too much tanning. And they're all together. It's just it's an amazing thing. But I follow her on Facebook. I also follow her on IG. And some time ago she got engaged. I don't know if she's getting married yet. You know, that's her fiance. I think his name is Charles or something. I forgot. She's like a nice guy. And I feel glad that she found love. Sometimes people think that everybody else can't find love, but it's not that hard to find love. You find somebody who likes you for you. She did have a boyfriend when she was still competing, but eventually they broke up. Now, around about the early 2000s, she had to get out of bodybuilding for a while because of an injury. It was an injury that most of the women who are pregnant, but she was not pregnant. I remember she was doing an interview after at the I think it was the 2010 New York Pro, in which she was talking interview why she was gone for such a long time. You know, but she came back. She competed a few more years, and then she just like many other bodybuilders just decided to drop out. Yeah. So check out your exercise. So you got your sound on. Mm. See, hey, Exy, are you good? Anyway, it's gonna, like I said, if you miss, just go back through you want to later. Now, next up is Lisa Lewis, and she was an Amazon. She stood at 5'11". Now, she's not one of the biggest female bodybuilders, but she's up there. She was a tall one. I mean, and she just had a great physique, great body, just huge amount of muscle. And like I said, I mean, I think she should have, did more. But what then is, as I said before, the IFBB was around about. She was coming in around about the what part of the '90s, and the IFBB was pushing change. Because they want the women to come like 90% less. They want to come in less muscle, and and she was one of those. Yeah, but generally, like I said, it's true. But generally, many men, yeah, yeah, most men aren't comfortable with the idea of being with a woman with muscles. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you should surprised that more often women bodybuilders, they usually that's why they most time date guys inside of sport. And then most of the relationships don't last because you have two people in the same sport. That's why more often they rather prefer being with regular guys because you don't have to worry about competing about because it's a competitive nature. Even though she's a female bodybuilder, he's a male bodybuilder. It's still that competitive nature. How much you're gonna work out, how much you're gonna push, how much you're gonna lift. It's just you know competitive nature. And the funny thing about this is when guys who do like women with muscle, they always get that moniker that you're gay, but I never said why. You're not. She's still a woman. She's still a female, and there's quite a few female bodybuilders who have children, even when they're still in competitive condition. There's a one lady I know of named um what's her name? I forgot her name. I know her name right off her. She had a baby a while back, and she came back and still competes. She's a mother. She at one point she wasn't sure she's going to even have a baby, but she did. Anyway, you know, but like I said, she found love, and I'm glad for her. You know, but with Lisa just was great, just amazing, just she was just huge. I got on my list as one of the most buff female bodybuilders in the sport. But she, like many others, she retired. I think she got tired of the run around, and now she's a trainer. She's in her 50s. She's a very attractive woman. I mean, you wouldn't know if she was, you know, hey, my man Marcus Bell, yeah, yeah, yeah. Marcus is in the building. I got yeah. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. White men love female with curves and or fat, but I expect you're decided you what you like, brother. Yeah, I'm actually I'm versatile. I like a curvy girl, and also I like a woman with not too big. I'm a guy who can go for. I can go from BBW to FBB. You know, Mhm. I can do that. Yeah, that's how just like I said before, I am not what you call. I'm an all how is it all opportunity employer. But anyway, like I said, Lisa, she retired. Now she's a instructor. She worked. She's back and she's originally from Kansas, Missouri, and that's probably where she's probably got her gym and stuff like that. She's a trainer and instructor, and she still looks great. I mean, even for I was saying black don't crack, and and it's the life of when you compete in bodybuilding. Sometimes it's hard to find anything outside of it. You just so many of them get into the fitness and training part of it. Now, next up is another lady. She's currently competing. This is Monique Jones. Now, Miss Jones is from South Carolina. She's a Southern lady. She's been around for the game for quite some time. Her biggest wins was back in she won the 2012 and 2013 Chicago Pro, and also she won the 2018 inaugural Romanian Muscle Fest. That was a show that was created by Wings of Strength along with Alina Papa. And she's also herself, she's a mother. She has a daughter. Her daughter's a teenager. People thinking like she has a kid. Yes. I should have posted a video where she was when she before she got into bodybuilding, she was into figure. And figure is like women a little smaller, a little bit more, not as muscular. They wear bikinis and high heels. And that's how she started. Far before she got into it, like a lot of women say they got into bodybuilding from either for health reasons, for fitness reasons. Sometimes they had got kids and they feel like they got fat. There's a bodybuilder named Diane Dennison. Before she became a bodybuilder, she had 4 kids. And then she got into the sport mostly she started just working out. And then she eventually just, got into the sport. I want to talk about Diane Dennison because right now I'm working on a history of kind of like a little documentary little thing, history of pure bodybuilding. I'm working on some stuff, and once I get it together, I'm going to post it and talk about it. but she's the top. She was top five contenders at last year's Rise of Phoenix World Women's Bodybuilding Championships, and she's in a way she's a beautiful lady. She kind of reminds me, you know, of a certain porn star by the name of Carmen Hayes. Just around the eyes and the face and the nose. I mean, she like if Carmen Hayes was into bodybuilding. You know, but she in her own right, she's still an attractive woman. She's not no, you know, okay. Well, you can't really lose the muscle, XA. You know, you can't really lose the muscle. You just you know, don't don't train as hard anymore. You know, you don't train as hard anymore. Like good example, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, look at Arnold. Now Arnold, remember how he used to be. You go back to when he was like Conan to what he's today. You don't really lose the muscle. You just don't train as much. You got to think about it, especially when you get older. You know, there's if you like to say, if you still work out, but you don't like one thing, if you don't take the supplements or certain type of drugs, and you don't train as hard and follow a certain diet, you don't get as big and vascular as you're competing. You get smaller. Like I said, I showed the pictures of the other ladies like Lord Craval and Vicky Gates, and how much they have not as muscle as they are compared to now. You know, but I think I should have some more coming up. Now, Monique is going to be competing at the this year's Rise of Phoenix, and there's a good chance that she also might be able to be at the Miss Olympia. But but like I said, I'm a fan of Monique. I mean, she has those big, pretty cat doe eyes. You know, I know she actually got some lip injections. Yeah, most definitely. She has. Lips wasn't that big before, but she got bigger. This is Juanita Bueno. Now, Juanita is from the city of Chicago, and I just like her look. I mean, she's just a great body, just amazing look. Juanita, her biggest showing was back in 2013 when she placed fourth in the Tampa Bay Pro, and she retired after 2014. One point I thought her she might be coming back, but she has an amazing body. Just really tight. See the quads, the legs. She's another who has not been to the call of silicone. And that's why I respect her more because, just because they feel like breast implants make you more female, yes, they do in a way. But the fact is, if you love your body as it is, you know, you don't want to you don't want to make no changes. You know, and she's still in great condition. I mean, this is, probably, you know, probably one of the most recent pictures I can find of her. You know, because she does, she looks in good shape. She also has one of those IG pages where it's, private, so I can't really get on. And she does have a Facebook, but the Facebook, it's not recent. It's been like maybe 6 or 7 years since she did anything on it. But she has a decent, pretty looking face. Nice body. Some curves to her. She's kind of off season. When you're off season, you're a little more softer. You know, and you know So why do they stick with it? Because it's a health issue. You know, you know. Well, CXA for health issues. You know, they like they like the fact that says they just can't. You just can't just quit. You can just like pull back. You don't have to work out as much. You don't have to diet as much, but you still want to stay healthy. You just can't just let yourself just go to like a sack of blob. Once you get into this lifestyle, it's hard just to get away from it. Yeah, and she's yeah, yes, yeah. I said now, yeah. You just can't walk away from being, in shape and being healthy. You don't have to. You're not competing anymore, but they still want to be healthy. You know, and like I said, that like one of the bodybuilders I talked to this afternoon while we were on IG, Tisha Thompson. She was like about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, she was nearly 300 pounds. She was 39. She was a mother, and she wanted to live longer for her children. And she just got into it just for health reasons. But then she just, boom, next you know, she's in sport bodybuilding. It doesn't take that much. You just, it all takes a little push, you know. Now, next up, I got up here, and one of my favorites is Miss Yolanda Hughes. Now, Miss Hughes, she came in about a good part of the 90s. She had one of the best posers, great routine. She did a lot of splits, flips, and other stuff. She had the skills. She was a great, had great skills. Now, her best showing was she is a two-time Miss International, winning Miss International back in 97 and 78. And it's pretty good. Mr. National was one of the second biggest shows for female bodybuilding. It usually be first of the year because it was attached to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Pro. And back in 2013, they decided to stop after the last Miss Olympia. After the last Miss International dropped, not carry Miss Bodybuilding, Miss International Bodybuilding, but Wing Straight picked it up, and now it's part of the Chicago Pro. You call it Miss Wings Internationals, and it's mostly for amateur bodybuilders. One of the bodybuilders that got their pro card from that show was Tina Williams, who competed this weekend at the San Vada Pro, and also another lady by the name of Jill Blondin, who competed. She got a pro card, and then she won the show. But I'm a big fan of her. She was, amazing body. I had done a video about her. You got to check out on my channel. It's a nice video who talks about how she started. How she was in Germany for a few years. She was married. Now she's divorced, and she's a trainer. She trains and teach other bodybuilders. She helps with figure competitors, and it's a transition. Like I said, she's not as buff as she used to be, but she still keeps in shape. And that's something you just can't walk away from. You know. Now, my last and final, this lady is a legend from back in the day. You know, and this is when Audrey Harris White. Now, I loved her. I mean, she was, I just like, she was a great bodybuilder, great physique. I have mentioned her before in my Mistress of Melanin video I put out, and I couldn't find as much about her. With her is that she was like one of those. She for a good while she was like from like I think around about 93 to about 94. She was always usually in the top five, and she came in great condition. And I remember what I said before she became a bodybuilder, was she was also a former police officer. I forgot what state it was. I just remember I saw it in the magazine when I used to read the magazines. I read about her. I wish I could find that magazine. I don't have it anymore. I think I had it a long time ago when I was a kid. My brother used to get the magazines, and I still collect magazines. I got loads of bodybuilding and comic books in the storage closet here at the house. I mean, one day I need to sit down and just go through them and maybe sell them. I got to go someplace. One guy said, don't try to sell comic books to the comic book stores. You're better off just going to a yard sale and sell them. You might make more money that way. But after she got out of bodybuilding, she became an entertainer. She got into stage and music. This is what she's not. Just more of a softer. People you wouldn't think what she was before. You just see her now, and it's just not a lot of these ladies. They don't keep up like you used to. Some have to eventually just kind of just don't work out as much, and they just pick on a little weight. I've seen some female bodybuilders that look like, wow, you used to be a bodybuilder, and if you see old pictures, but but that's a choice they made for their lives, you know, and you got to respect that choice they make. That's what they want to do, and they came into sport for a reason, for a purpose. But for whatever reason, either they wouldn't win in shows, you know, yeah, she's cute. Yeah, she's cute. it wasn't with as many shows. They were just politics, medical, sometimes financial reason or medical reasons they had to drop out. Sometimes, like I said, some do take certain supplements or enhancers, and it does affect them after a while. There's been a few cases where some women, there's a bodybuilder I follow right now, Rhonda Corsmere. She's going through cancer, and somebody said it results from years of being a bodybuilder. It could be anything. We just like I said, we just buried, about to bury the Black Panther Chadwick Boseman, and he had it for 4 years. He had colon cancer, and colon cancer, that's a disease that should happen to somebody like me, because where I eat a lot of junk. I eat a lot of processed food and stuff. And that's something that should happen. I'm 46. I'm almost 46 years old, and that's why they changed the policies when it comes to people with colostomy, especially Black people. I think the age limit for us should be at least 35. It said usually supposed to be like 50, but I think with Black people, because some about our DNA and something else, is that we need to probably get an early start. I might talk to my doctor about doing a colonoscopy. Because like I said, my 46th birthday is coming up in November, and maybe I better jump on the bandwagon. But anyway, as I said, my stories are not just, like I said, I want to do something else because this is to my brother XA. And XA gave me the idea of this. Like when I posted my video about the Savannah Pro, a while back, and he saw the prize money for the winner, Oscar Hadley, was $3,000. And that's crazy. You think to yourself, that's crazy. $3,000? You know, and these women are competing. They're doing shows. I mean, you think they should get more than $3,000, but for some reason or another, they're not getting as much money, or they should get. But here's the thing: this is just the how the sport works. It's a double standard. Like the women, they work, they sweat, they do just as much as the men, but they don't get as much financially. That's why many of them have to do things to make make up for profit. And you know, it's just that's a part of the sport. You know, you have to try to, you know, they do the sport. Like I talked to one of my ladies I follow is one is Emery Miller, and she said that you do the sport more of a hobby than actually as a career. You know, and you know, many of them have to find a way to make money. Yeah, they do deserve more. But the funny is, that's the women. Now the guys, yeah, yeah, exactly, they do deserve. But the guys, this is different with them. You know, and they the guys they have to they get more because the fact is the like certain like the supplement companies, uh, apparel companies, and the workout they sell the workout gear. They usually you guys in the magazines, you know, and they're the ones that be out there, you know. They're the ones who get the attention. They're the ones who get they're the ones who make the big money. And it's just, I agree with you. It's not fair that these women have to work just as hard and don't get as much. Now, right here is Asher Hadley, who just won the Savannah Pro this year, and she's $3,000. $3,000 for months of training, prepping, dieting. She's married too, and her husband has to deal with that. And she gets $3,000. Now the second runner up was named lady named Kim Buck. She got $2,000, and the third runner up, which is one Miss Washana Boswell, you won't believe what she gets. Now you got to think about it. Second runner up gets 2,000. Look at that, $1,000 for third place. Crazy, isn't it? You know, crazy, isn't it? Getting just $1,000 for third place. That's a shame. Yeah, it's just a double standard. You know, Well, the men will get more. Like it's a big how we best would say pay disbursement between men and women bodybuilding. I do some researching, and I looked at from last year's the Omaha Pro. This is from from Tampa Bay Pro. The men bodybuilders. This is prize money, $20,000. First place gets 10K. You see that? Second place gets $4,000. $3,000 for third. Fourth place gets $2,000 and $1,000 for the first one. And that's in the men's division. And then when you go down, that's men's 12, like 112, 212. That's $6,000. But this is what they get. $3,000. Then that's men's physique. Division. 3,500. So that means somebody getting $2,000 for first place, $1,000 for second, and $500. $500. $500. We can do $500. That's classic. I know what classic is. I think it's something. That's the same thing. Then where's bodybuilding? This is from the Tampa Bay Pro from last year. $3,000, $2,000, and $1,000 for third place. Now, generally, most of the shows is very awesome shows. If, like I said, the last year's winner for the Tampa Bay Pro was Hanina Trevino, and she went on to win the Rising Phoenix, where she got at least about $6,000 plus a brand new car. But that's for the big show. And you can see how the rest of the money. It's like we hit back bikini into women's physique and wellness. That's pretty much small change. While fitness and figure, which are kind of like fitness came in about in the early 90s. It was supposed to be alternative to female bodybuilding. And one thing I remember was one of the former Miss Olympia, four-time Miss Olympia, Kim Savetsky, jumped from when she retired after her last Miss Olympia back in '99. She came back in 2001 and competed in fitness, and it was kind of slapping the face. You're a former four-time Miss Olympia, and you come back, and she didn't do too good as a fitness competitor because the fact is she had to really drop a lot of muscle, a lot of size. And figure is just like figure bodybuilding, like from the early days, like like the early '80s, where you wear high heels, but the women are getting bigger. And that's a pay disbursement. But here's the things that involve with with being a bodybuilder. First off, you have to think about it. The outfits. Now this is just a basic posing suit for prejudging. You just wear that for you prejudging. You come on the stage, you just present yourself, you wave, you do some poses, and then you're gone. And yeah, yeah. Oscar threw his first main event, and where he was paying his fighters. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember, don't talk about. We don't need to talk about pantyhose De La Hoya. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a cheapskate. Yeah, yeah. He's a cheapskate. and to fight about lowball. I mean, yeah, that's not fair. Like I remember I did a video about how Ann Wolf said she did a fight and she only got paid $1. Now you gotta think about it. This is just a basic posing suit, and these suits are like about maybe 100, something like that. That's the most. For just a basic posing suit, you just wear that for the prejudging, and that's it. The prejudging, and also because you the call outs, they call you out, and that's what you wear. Now, then you have to wear this suit when it's time for finals. This suit can cost you jewelry, be jewel and all, can cost you for anything from 200 to maybe $500. The lowest you can go maybe about 150, 160. And the thing is that the women have to get measured, have to get, checked out. They have to make sure that everything fits when they wear these suits. You just can't just put one on and just go on stage. You have to get measured, and you have to get your size right to fit you. And sometimes you can only wear the suit one time. You can't really wear it again. You got to get another suit. You know, and I mean, there's one fear about the bear said she was trying to sell some of her suits because the fact was it's expensive. It's like buying a prom dress, or you buy a prom dress, you just wear that one time and you just you call it. That's why, that's where often most girls want to rent one. You can wear a tuxedo. Guys can wear a tuxedo for $90 for prom, but these girls, they get a prom dress, and they usually don't rent them. You have to buy it, and that's expensive. You know. And then one thing is like the guys, this thing about the guys. The guys wear speedos on stage, and you got to think about it. The cost of these are only, um, you know, the cost of these are only the cheapest is maybe $30, and the most expensive is 60. These are $60. $60 for a pair of banana hammocks. Can you create $60 for a pair of banana hammocks. That's crazy. You know, and the guys are getting more money, but they don't have to put as much compared to the women. You know, it's not fair. Yeah. And then this suit right here, I found right here. This is a nice suit for ladies. This suit right here costs about $300. It's nice suit. It's pretty suit. It's nice. It's nice. It's bedazzled. It's pretty rhinestones, everything, but it costs $300. And then you got not just count about the suits. Women wear jewelry and stuff. You have to wear jewelry. You have to look nice. You have to look presentable. It's also, you know, it's so much. There's you got to get tan, and we get to show they do a spray tan, and then sometimes you got to you got to do tanning by hand. Like I said, some ladies they do this when they go to the shows when they know they have to be tan and they want to lay down. They usually bring extra towels or something like that because those towels in the motels are cheap and hard to get clean. So they usually bring their own towels and stuff. They own maybe like bring another pair of sheets, and and they do the tanning. The spray tanning is cold. You got to get butt naked, you know, and then you got to put more tanning because what a tan does, it gives that look, the muscle, make the muscle pop, especially on stage with the lights shine on you. You get the tan, get the oil, you know. And I used to watch these backstage videos where women are working out and getting ready, and you show them they get tan and getting pat down, you know. And then also, makeup and hair. You know, back in the day, you didn't have to wear too much, just maybe a little eyeliner and some lipstick, but these ladies have to look presentable on stage. So they get the makeup and hair done. And sometimes some of them either some shows we're paid for it, like other, but most time you have to pay for your own makeup in here, you know, or you might need to bring your own designer and stylist to do your makeup in here, you know, and you have to balance a budget. You got to think about it. Your posing suits, from your prejudging suit, your final posing suit, your your dieting, your eating. It's just money's tight. It's hard. It's it's killer. I mean, if you got a real job, then it's hard to try to hold a real job and be competitive. Not too many bosses will tell you, "Oh wow, boss, I got to go do a show." Oh yeah, okay. That's why many of them try to have a more of an open lifestyle where you have a job where it's more flexible. Like that's why a lot of them work in gyms or be trainers or nutritionists. They find those jobs that get really open, or some even do real estates like that because it's open. They can have the time to train and work out and go to do shows. And it's hard to hold a 9 to 5. That's a hard thing to do. Try to hold a 9 to 5, or some people midnight to 12. You know, and then you got to go to the shows. You got travel expenses. You got to eat. You got to catch a plane. You got to catch an Uber. You might some would drive if the show's not too far. Like one of the bodybuilders I follow. She drove because she's from Florida. You know. Marcus, you crazy, brother. Yeah, but yeah, those speedos. Yeah, it's like $50-$60 for a pair of practical underwear, and and it's just that's why the guys they don't have to spend as much money because other than eating and traveling, but they get the big money depending on who you are. But like I said, that's the thing. The travel expenses. That's the one thing that kills. You got to get a motel, and then if you don't have your own car, like you have to get an Uber to get around, and then there's gas you got to burn, and depending where you're coming from. Like one bodybuilder I follow, she lives in Florida. One she lives in Kansas City. Some live in New York, and then we're now with the travel ban. A lot of the overseas bodybuilders that had to come from all the way from Europe or from Central Asia or from Australia, just other side of the world practically, and that's expensive traveling by plane. And then you don't have your own car; you got to catch a Uber, you got to catch a taxi to get around. Sometimes most of the time they have the shows at the motel, as for the venue. But then if you don't go ahead and make reservations in time, you have to find another place to stay. But generally, most of the women go ahead and if at a certain motel, they go ahead and make their reservations. Then you have to try to get there in time. You know, but like I said, it's just many of them have to do like this. And then after you make your money, if you win top prize money, you got to take about taxes. You got to pay your taxes. The government's always after any little dollar you got. Uncle Sam, they want you, they make you bleed. Like one of the biggest criminals of all time, Al Capone, man committed acts of bootlegging, murder, extortion, prostitution, assault, intimidation. He got busted not paying his taxes. Crazy, isn't it? You think you say Al Capone, this big time gangster, got busted for tax evasion, and that's why he got paid taxes. And this is one of my favorite episodes of if you remember Batman the animated series, and it's an episode where the Joker got inherited some money, and then the part where he said that what he was afraid of the police, but he was afraid of the IRS. And that's true. IRS can do more damage to you than the police or the FBI or anybody. You know, and you got to pay your taxes. That's the simple fact of it. That's money the government wants their cut. Yeah. So what these women do? Well, After the shows, when they finish competing, make money. They do they do photo shoots. You know, they do the photo shoots. It's depending on who they're doing. Like I said, I was talking to my friend Alicia. She said that you can get paid to $300 to $400 a session for an hour, and that's the way they make their. If they're, like I said, when they're in condition, and know that the hardcore fans, want to see them ripped and shredded. They can't be all year young, but when they're in their competition condition, they go ahead and do photo shoots and do video shoots. There's a couple of sites like HD Physiques, Muscle Angels, Her Biceps, All Films. They catch up with the ladies after the shows. They pay them for the time. So you have to the ones that don't even get the prize money, they can make up to about 1,500. Just doing a photo shoot. You know, sometimes $2,000 depending on how long and who's going to pay them. So they make the money from photo shoots. You know, photo shoots and videos. Like here, this is like I said, I'm a big fan of. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Unina Bleno. They're doing the photo shoots. That's how they make the money. And there's also probably a video of this photo session. They go around. They go here. They might do them after the show, or they go someplace else and they do the photo shoots, or they do them, in a motel or something like that. And there's also another way they make money is by video sessions. Like Skype or IG, fans only. They go on and talk to the guys. The guys will pay and tip. There's a couple of sites out there that's mostly dedicated to bodybuilding fetish. The guys go on, they talk to the girls. And yes, I'm one of them. That's why I know. You know what you know, and you tip the girls. You might do a little session with her. That's what it is. Like now, that's why it was even before that. People were doing it before then. Skype been popular for a lot of people who do and right now with the coronavirus, you know, yes, they do. They get them. Most of them they get them for. Yes, they do. They get them for the look more feminine. Um, for the judges because yeah. And the thing is that's quality because the judges will look at you and they want you to look more feminine because you got to remember breast tissue, memory tissue is mostly fat, and it takes muscle feeds off of fat. You know, some women, even if you think about it, if you were like a B cup or a C cup, you're gonna lose that fat because usually if you're doing like bench presses or any kind of chest workouts, and it's just your pecs would have to develop. It needs that fat to grow. You know, and that's how it is. That's one of the points of the sport. But anyway, back to how they make money. Like I said, they do video sessions. Like they go on to certain pages and they just talk to the guys. Guys either drop a tip or they go and they do a little, kind of like online sexing thing. This bunch of like let's do it for years. But bodybuilders still got to it just like anybody else. You know. And also there's things called sessions. These are one-on-one sessions. The women will, set it up. They want to meet a guy. He has to pay down a deposit, and depending if she's gonna either he'll go and hurt where she's at, or he'll or she might be doing a session tour. Like, or sometimes if they do a show and they set the session, say well, they set the session, say time to do this show. And the thing is, you got to remember, female bodybuilders are at their weakest when they're competing. because they had to drain down so much fluid out of their bodies. They had to create try to build so much muscle, and they're truthfully are at their weakest when they're competing. They're strong, I've seen videos of women fainting at shows. Sometimes I remember this video years ago with it was a documentary. There was a bodybuilder by the name of Michelle Tuggle. She had to sit out because she had to put a air mask because you dehydrate, you literally dehydrate yourself. But when it's off season, meaning women would do the sessions. They travel, they meet guys. It's a worship thing. You can either you worship it's worshiping. There's some wrestling, fantasy. It's just a mix of everything involved in sessions. And yes, there is a little bit of some borderline prostitution. Like in Canada, like one of my friends who's a bodybuilder said she has to be careful when she goes to Canada because they're very strict. When you go there, because you feel like you're doing prostitution. You know, it's kind of funny about porn. You record porno, it's legal, but when you got buy sex, it's illegal. It's crazy. But generally, yeah, they got to do what they got to do to make money. But his status about this: the company that supports human bodybuilding, Wings of Strength, Jake Woods, who owns it, just bought out two of the major magazines in the Weirder company. He bought out Flex and Muscle and Fitness, were the two biggest magazines in bodybuilding. And also, he took over the Olympia weekend. He's the new owner of the Olympia and Muscle and Fitness and Flex. But still, he Wings of Strength are the big producer behind women because officially, IFBB, they don't really run the shows anymore. They kind of govern over them, like they still judge and whatever else, but they don't really have the shows a part of the other shows. Like some shows would just have men's bodybuilding, men's physique, the figure, the bikini, and they have women's physique, and that's it. And then women's strength, depending on the promoter, will attach themselves to that show. Like shows like the New York Pro, which was a long time used to have female bodybuilding, dropped it a few years ago. Now, I think this coming up this weekend, New York Pro is bringing back. They're going to have the New York Pro in Tampa Bay because the New York is very strict. You don't want to have New York is under the very guidelines of the coronavirus outbreak up there, so they don't have any shows. So that show's coming from New York to Tampa Bay, so it's kind of going to be the New York Tampa. And he didn't have anybody for a long time, but I think Jake Wood threw some money at Bev Francis. And I told you about Bev Francis. This is the woman who changed the sport of bodybuilding when she came in back in Pumping Iron 2. But they threw some money at her probably, and now she's gonna bring back female bodybuilding back to the New York Pro. And then in about next month, another show is the Chicago Pro. We used to be in Chicago, it's gonna be in Atlanta. So because pretty much the South is more open to these shows because the fact is that places like Illinois, the mayor of Chicago, she doesn't want any of that stuff going around because she don't want a big crowd, a lot of people, and then the virus is spreading. And the governor up there in New York, Andrew Cuomo, he's about the same. He don't want a lot of big shows, no big events. That's why they're having doing the NBA season in Florida because Florida, Georgia, and these other states are more open and willing. But like I said, the next big show, but the big show coming up is the Olympia. And for a long time, Miss Olympia was separate. It wasn't part of the Olympia, with the men. But then I think because of the save money and because of the struggles because they wouldn't sell tickets for female bodybuilding, they created the Olympia weekend. And for a long time, you had both the men and the women sharing the stage. And then about 2014, they dropped after 2014 season, they dropped female bodybuilding from the Olympia. And then Jake Woods came and he created the Rising Phoenix. But like I said, the Olympic weekend is coming up in December. And a couple weeks before that is the Women's Rising Phoenix show. That moved also to Vegas. I've done that video about that. Just checking my script into my channel, and you can find it and just But it's just a lot of work for these women. and they have to be presentable. They have to be female. They have to be, you know, all that. I mean, and it's just like I said, it's for them. For many of them, they feel like it's more of a hobby than a sport. And society doesn't take the idea of women being serious, being muscle seriously. And there's always that debate that, you know, should, female bodybuilding, end or whatever. I've been one of the people that always try to put that nail in the coffin of female bodybuilding. But sometimes somehow it bounces back and survives. You know? And being a fan of it, it just, this is like I started getting like about um 99 when they were pretty much didn't think it was going to be a female Miss Olympia. They were able to save it at the last minute, you know. And like I said, I'm always be a fan of these ladies. I respect what they do. You know, they take their self and their sport seriously, even though they're not making as much money compared to the men. They, don't get as many sponsors. The ones who get sponsors are the lucky ones. Many women have to do GoFundMe's and they have to do, like I said, the video session stuff. They have to do sessions, like, in-person sessions. There's a story I saw a few years ago. I was watching on YouTube. There's a guy, he's a bodybuilder. He's training with a female bodybuilder by the name of Teresa Ballstick. They were training together. She always carried his bag. And one day he asked her, "What's in the bag?" She opened the bag. It was a bag full of money. You know, well, what about the Olympia? That what going to be held in Japan? Well, they're not going to be in Japan. No, they're not going. Japanese. No, Japan. It's Vegas. They're not going to go to Japan. It's mostly it's going to be in Vegas. We always have it. The last few years. They start doing Vegas like about early 2000 to save the cost of having both shows. I remember the last show that Miss Olympia was overseas was the Romania, and that was back in '98, and that was that was the last show they ever went. That was the first and last show that Miss Olympia went overseas. I don't know why they went. I think they went because there was a certain bodybuilder at the time. She was Romanian. That's why they did it. But but it's just the cost of the bodybuilding, the cost of the venue, the cost of everything. You know, it's expensive. It's an expensive sport, and many women do it out of habit. No, it's not worldwide. It's not really worldwide like it should be. I mean, bodybuilding itself is worldwide, but the IFBB mostly works out of America. There's there's a few shows outside of America. There's they for a good while. This is the story I tell you real quick. Back in around 2012, 2013, NPC decided to drop European amateur bodybuilding. You know, and what it did was that you didn't get more fresh new bodybuilders from overseas. The last bodybuilders that came from Europe before the change was Lisa Cross and Virginia Sanchez. And after that, you see a lot of women bodybuilders from overseas. You know, and for that reason, the sport kind of just kind of suffered. No fresh new blood coming in, other than what few American women that are competing. They still had a regular NPC for American women, and then many of those women eventually, if they didn't do too well, it takes, like I said, you have to, like I say, when you're amateur, you have to spend money. As pros, you even have to, once you get your pro card, you even have to pay for that. Yeah, it's not free. It's you pay pretty much uh how's the best way to say it? Uh uh a dowry to become a female bodybuilder once you get your pro card. You know, and that's why some women just say, you know what, once they turn pro, once they win a show and it's time for pro, they have to really work. They take some time off and they have to work to make the money because it's not cheap a pro card. I can't know how much. I think I might ask either Tisha or I might ask Emery or I might ask Alicia how much it costs for to get a pro card. But mostly they do the Vegas the Olympia only in Vegas because it's cheaper. Yeah, remember Vegas has you know no property tax, you know, and it's much cheaper. You know, that's why I remember a friend told me that when we stayed in the motels in Vegas, the motels don't cost that much because really they make money off the gambling. You know, that's how they make their money off the gambling. You know, and then that's why you ever see those episodes of TV shows when they go to Vegas and they had the buffet for like $2 or $3, you know, or something like that, because they make the money off the gambling. You know, that's why they don't have a lot of sales taxes. You know, you don't have property taxes in Vegas. But anyway, like I said, it was fun talking with you fellas. You know, and explaining, what I know. Most of the stuff I researched on my own. The other stuff I know from talking to many ladies that compete and they tell me the stuff, and it's just a lot to go through to be a bodybuilder. One thing, but one of the lucky ones are the guys. The guys, they get paid big time because, like I said, they get sponsors, they get the apparel sponsors, the equipment workouts, the sponsors, the companies that make workout equipment, the supplement companies. They'll be on the magazine covers. Used to be, few about these used to be on magazine covers pretty much too, but after a while, the people didn't want to see them on the cover. But like I said, it's just a double standard in the sport. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate actually, thank you for coming by. You know, and just and I like to thank Marcus. If Marcus is there, I think Marcus probably gone. I know there's two people watching. Maybe in the future I get some more. I would like to see more people come on. Yeah, I know some of my followers. They probably check out the video later. But like I said, I'm still working on it. I guess, like I said, I got a few things I'm working on right now. Um, there's one that my man Marcus inspired me about. Was a when I did my buff female bodybuilders one video. He said he likes to talk about a wrestling thing, and I know you're a big fan of wrestling, XA. Yeah, hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button. I forgot. Thank you, XA. Tell him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks again, XA. Tell him hit that like button. Because I really appreciate y'all listening to me. And like I said, once I really get the swing of this, I'm gonna be better. But anyway, you know, yeah. Thanks, Marcus, for coming. I mean, Marcus, my brother's Marcus, XA Gucci 23. I mean, I really appreciate y'all guys coming up. Well, you never call me. Most time, I don't know about it till it's YouTube. It's notifications. I don't get a notification till it's about too late. Yeah, but still, when I'm talking to wrestling talk, you want to do it again. I'll pop in. Like I said, most time I'm at just me here at the house. You know, my nephew might be here every now and then, but just mostly me. I like to talk to somebody. Not much on television. I don't really watch new shows now because stuff on there is boring. I'm watching Star Trek. Get in the morning, I watch Have Done with Travel and Perry Mason because there's not a lot of good shows on. Those new stuff on is boring. Anyway, I want to thank my brothers Execuche 23, you know, Marcus Bell for coming in. whoever else, like I said, I got 5 likes, so that means that other than myself and XA and Marcus, 2 more people really liked it. You know, so I really appreciate it. You know, so behalf of me and ladies in the professional bodybuilding world, I want to say thank you, good luck, God bless, and like I said, it's for your man all the way, George Page, aka the Perfect Sage. Like, don't like, subscribe, don't subscribe. I'm out.